Welcome back to Mastering MMA. I'm Coach Lee here with you today. We're going to talk about boring fights, mainly because of all the trash I'm seeing people talk on Usman about this weekend's fight. So I'll be the first to admit that was a very boring fight. Very little action, lots of just being pressed up against the cage, or Usman pressing Masdival up against the cage. It's very, very boring. But there's so many people I see out here on social media talking about how, he should have done this, should have done that. He should have just stood out there and banged with Masdival. That would have been very stupid of him to do. That's Masdival's path to success. There is to keep it just standing and bang it out, right? So this was a very smart game plan. It's not a fun fight to watch, but you can't knock him for going out there and doing what needs to be done. It's a very good game plan. He executed it well. I would have liked to seen a more aggressive fight. It would have definitely been better for me. I probably would have stayed awake and not had to watch it the next day. But that being said, I see so many people saying, Usman should have done this or done that. Well, when it comes down to it, he did what he was supposed to do. If you're mad about how the fight was boring, you should be mad at Masdival, right? For not being able to stop him from just holding him up against the fence, right? I used to have a whole lot of trouble with wrestlers just holding me down and nullifying everything I tried to do. And it was super frustrating to me, but at the same time, after talking to my coaches and stuff, I realized that's what I need to work on, right? Masdival kind of played into this. He's very comfortable just setting his back on the cage and trying to work his head movement and strike from there. I've seen him do it in multiple fights, and he's good at it. Well, Usman took advantage of that and just kept him on the cage where he couldn't make it a striking battle, and just grinded it out. And for the most part, he did enough work that the ref really couldn't step in and stop him, right? It wasn't like he wasn't doing anything. There was foot stomps, there was knees, some elbows. He was doing work on the cage. It was boring to watch. But really, that comes back to Masdival, right? He's got to figure out how to deal with that. That's a big part of the fight game is that cage work. And I know lots and lots of fights are won and lost on that cage. And I know a lot of teams don't train it much at all. Right now we're not in a gym. We're building up the one there at my house now that I'm recording out of for most of my stuff. And we're going to do a lot of wall work once we have it up. That's why you've seen in the background extra framework going into the walls, and plywood or OSB going up, to reinforce those walls so we can bang on them and do work there. Because a whole lot of fights are won and lost on there. If you can't figure out how to get your back off the cage, people are going to do that to you. In every level of this sport. Same thing, wrestlers put guys down all the time and just hold them there. They lay and pray and eke out wins with it, right? They do the same thing on the cage. So that's a big part of the game, and it's really a boring thing to work on. I've actually got a video on using frames, to escape side control. That's a boring video for a lot of people. I'm the first to say, that's not the most exciting thing. I wish I could just record, Imanari rolls and flying triangles all day long. But But when it comes down to it, like, those are the things that are going to win more fights than the Imanari rolls or the flying triangles, right? Knowing how to use your frames and get out of bad spots, or, you know, when you're on the cage, figuring out how to dig for the underhook and turn your opponent and put them on the cage, or turn it into you know, move them so you can turn it into a striking battle, or whatever you want to do, right? Or even turning them with an overhook, right? Those are not fun things to work on. They're not flashy, but it's something that you need to really focus on, because those things there will go way further, or will do more for making you go further in your career than learning the flashy stuff that's fun and exciting to see and all that. And I'm not saying don't learn that too. I love hitting Imanari rolls and flying submissions and stuff. You know, I do spinning attacks when we're striking, things like that. I love that stuff. But I also grind away on the boring stuff, which allows me to do that other stuff with so much more confidence. You know, I can strike with a whole lot of confidence because I'm not too worried about getting put on my back. You know, if I go out there and I can go out there and strike hard and you know, get into it and throw longer combinations, that could lead to more success. But it also makes it easier to take me down if I'm doing that type of stuff. But I'm not afraid of being taken down, right? I've trained off my back a whole lot. I feel very comfortable there. So, you know, when that plays out, we're watching, if you see this boring fight where somebody's just getting held down, like, you should really be more mad at the person that's just getting held down for not doing enough to turn it into a fight, right? Usman had the ability to basically just control Masdival, and that was it. I mean, you know, obviously he was hitting him and things like that, but you know, when they got out in the open, looked like Masdival for the most part was getting the better of Usman. So he did the right thing in making it a very boring fight. That was his path to victory. The other way was Masdival's path to victory. So he did what he needed to do. So if you're going to be mad at anybody about that being a boring fight, it should be Masdival for not being able to stop Usman from just holding him down, right? And don't get me wrong, I hate that. It really sucks, but it's a smart game plan, right? I tell all my fighters that I want them going in to finish a fight. Sometimes you can't just finish a fight, right? Sometimes you have to win by, you know, holding them down and controlling them and you know, very boring stuff. You're not going to go out and finish every single fight in, you know, flashy fashion or anything. So next time you see one of these boring fights and you're mad because the guy's just holding him down, be mad at the guy getting held down, right? And then train that stuff, right? Grind away at the boring stuff as much as you can. Learn how to get out of mount. Learn how to get out of the bottom of side control. You know, things of that nature. Getting out of the bottom of north-south. Getting your back off the cage if that's what needs to be done. Like drill that stuff. Figure it out. I know it's boring. I know it's hard. It really, really sucks, right? Everybody agrees on that, but or most everybody. But work on that stuff. It will take you a long ways in this fight game. So that's what I got to say about this. Please hit like on this video. Subscribe if you haven't. Hit the notification bell so you don't miss any of this. New content coming out all the time. Please Google Mastering MMA. Click on the reviews there and give me a 5-star review. That'll help out a lot. I'm starting to get some Google sending some people to this channel, so to get us some new eyes. Keep growing. And hopefully we can start doing some more giveaways here pretty soon. And join the Facebook group if you haven't, right? Most of my giveaways run through there in one way or another. So get in that group. Lots of fun stuff. Lots of good information. You'll definitely like it. So jump in there. And I think that's all for today. We'll catch you next time on Mastering MMA with Coach Lee.